Hello students, very good morning. So we are learning the chapter metals and non-metals, and we have studied what are the different methods of extraction of metals of different reactivity series. And we are in the last part of the chapter, that is corrosion. Corrosion, nothing but it's a kind of rusting. So when metal exposed to moisture or water or air, so they'll get corroded. So that process is called as corrosion. So that you already studied in the chapter 1. Silver articles become black after some time when exposed to air. This is because it reacts with sulfur in the air to form a coating of silver sulfide. You can see on the picture. So this is the silver when you bought it. So this is after exposed to air. Is you very well know about this. So this copper reacts with a moist carbon dioxide in the air and slowly loses its shiny brown surface and gains a green coating. You can see on the picture it gains a green coating. This green substance is a basic copper carbonate. It is a copper carbonate, that's why it looks green. So when you wash it, though all the green color, all the carbonates will be drained off from that vessel. So this is also one kind of corrosion. CO. So this is also copper corrosion. When exposed to air, or it absorbs the carbon dioxide and it turns a brown color to green color. This is copper corrosion. So next is iron rusting. You are very well know about this, right? So iron, when exposed to moist air for a long time, it acquires a coating of a brown flaky substance that is called as rust, right? So when you expose it to moisture and air, so it will turn its color and its quality. So this is iron rusting. Let us find out the conditions under which iron will rust. So we'll see one experiment for this. So take a 3 test tube and place a clean iron nails in each of them. Okay, you have to label it as test tube A, B and C. So in the pour some water into the test tube A and cork it. You have to place a cork at the mouth of the test tube to prevent the entry of air into the test tube. And so pour a boiled distilled water in a test tube B, and also you have to add a 1 ml of oil and you have to cork it. So in next one, so why? Because the oil will this oil will float on the water and prevents the air from the dissolving in the water. Next, in the test tube C, so put some anhydrous calcium chloride. You have to add anhydrous calcium chloride in the test tube C and you have to cork it. So this anhydrous calcium chloride will absorb the why we are adding means if there is any moisture in the test tube, it is absorbed by this calcium chloride. Okay, so it will absorb the moisture. The only air will be left, right? Dry air will be left. But in this condition, both moist air will be present and water is also present. Here only this calcium chloride anhydrous means, so without air, without water. Anhydrous means, so no water content. It is dry. Okay, so it will this calcium chloride will absorb the moisture. If any, so from the air, so if there is any moisture in the air, it will be absorbed by it. So leave these test tubes for a few days and observe. So you will observe that so iron is in the test tube A, so is rusted. So because it has exposed to both air in the test tube and the water, right? But not in the test tube B and C. So why? Because here we have taken only water and we have prevented the air, right? So air is separated and only water is. So water alone cannot rust the metals. Okay, this is about test tube B. In the test tube C, so I told you, So all the moisture in the air, it is absorbed by the calcium chloride. Only dry air is present. So this dry air alone cannot so rust the metals. So this activity shows that so for rusting both air and water is required. Water alone and air alone cannot rust the metals. So we need both water and air. How can we prevent this corrosion? So the rusting of iron can be prevented by painting, oiling, greasing, galvanizing, chrome plating, anodizing and making alloys. ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು ಈ ಥರ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಪೇಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೇಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆರ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡನ್ ಕಲರ್. ಸೊ ಟು ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ರಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಈವನ್ ಆಯಿಲಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಆಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಸೊ ರಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಆಯಿಲು ಒಂದು ಏರ್ ಮತ್ತು ವಾಟರ್ ಏನು ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋ ಥರ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. Next, greasing. And next one is galvanizing. Galvanizing means some steel materials will be coated with the zinc. Okay, zinc, applying a protective zinc coating to steel and iron materials. Okay, that is called as galvanizing. Chrome plating means it is one kind of electroplating that they'll add a thin layer of chromium layer. Okay, thin layer of chromium onto the metals. And next one is anodizing. So anodizing, it means it is an electrolytic method used to increase the thickness of the natural oxide layer on the surface of the metal parts. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸೊ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಲೇಯರ್ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಎರೋಡ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎರೋಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಮೆಟಲ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ anodizing. And next one is making alloys. Alloys means it is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಅಥವಾ ಮೂರು ಮೆಟಲ್ ನ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ they'll prepare one kind of substance. They are called as alloys. So not only metals, this is also called as it is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or metals and non-metals. metals ನ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿನೂ alloys ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ and metal and non-metal ನ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೂಡ alloys na prepare ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. That is about the prevention of corrosion. So I was explaining about galvanizing, right? So galvanization, it is a method of protecting a steel and iron from rust by coating them with a thin layer of zinc. Okay, now zinc ಒಂದು ಲೇಯರ್ ನಮ್ ಐರನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕೋದಕ್ಕೆ galvanization ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So this the galvanized articles will protected against the rusting even if the zinc coating is broken. Andre zinc coating break ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ so it will protect you from the rusting. So this is because it acts as a strong agent. Okay, so this zinc oxide acts as a strong agent that prevents the corrosion. So this is about galvanization. Alloying, it is a very good method of improving the properties of the metals and we can get the desired properties by this method. For example, iron is the most widely used metal, but it is never used in its pure state. So this is because pure iron is very soft and stretches easily when hot, but it is mixed with a small amount of carbon. Okay, only 0.05% of the carbon, it becomes hard and strong. So this is about one kind of alloying of iron. Students, you know that we use stainless steels for our kitchen we're using, right? So when iron is mixed with a nickel and chromium, we get a stainless steel. Okay, iron ಒಂದನ್ನೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. When we mix with this other metals or non-metals, we can get a good property of a vessels or metals. So when this iron is mixed with a nickel and chromium, we get a stainless steel which is hard and does not rust. ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಾ, ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ಪಾತ್ರೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ರಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ so it is mixed with a nickel and chromium. Iron is mixed with a nickel and chromium. Thus, if iron is mixed with some other substances, its properties will change. So in fact, the property of any metal can be changed if it is mixed with one other substance. ಓಕೆ, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸೊ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ಡ್ if it is mixed with some other substances, and the substances added may be a metal or a non-metal. We can add metal or we can add metal and non-metal. Coming to the definition of an alloy, it is an homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or metal and non-metal. Okay, mixture of two or more metals, or it may be metal and a non-metal. It is called as alloy. So it is prepared by first melting the primary metal, that is iron, and then dissolving the other elements in it in a definite proportion. It will be in the 3:1 ratio or 2:1 ratio, like that. 2:1 means so 2 parts of the iron and 1 part of the remaining metal or a non-metal, and it is then cooled to the room temperature. So then we can get a alloy. Students, you all might have know about that 24 karat gold, right? That is pure gold, known as 24 karat gold, and you should remember that. So what we use it as a jewelry, that is not a pure gold, that is not 24 karat gold. So this 24 karat gold is very soft. Okay, pure gold, it is very soft, and it is therefore not suitable for making a jewelry. It should be alloyed with either silver or copper to make it hard. Generally in India, 22 karat gold is used for making ornaments. It means 22 parts pure gold is alloyed with the 2 parts of either copper or silver. ನಾವು ಹಾಕುವಂತ ಜ್ಯುವೆಲರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ is very soft. We cannot it is not suitable for making a jewelry. So we have to alloy it with either silver or a copper. So then we will get a hard gold that we can wear it. So 22 karat gold means 22 karat gold. So 22 parts of pure gold is alloyed with the 2 parts of copper or silver. So this is about alloy of a gold. Next is amalgam. So if one of the metal is mercury, then the alloy is called as amalgam. Okay, now metal ಜೊತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ mercury ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ that is called as amalgam. And the electrical conductivity and melting point of an alloy is less than that of a pure metals. Next is brass. Brass, it is an alloy of copper and zinc. So when you mix this copper and zinc, so you will get a brass. Brass ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿತ್ತಾಳೆ. So copper and zinc. Next is bronze. So bronze, it is an alloy of copper and tin. Copper and tin. So the molecular the chemical molecular symbol is Sn for tin. So these are not a good conductors of electricity, whereas the copper is used for making electrical circuits, solders, and this next one is an alloy of lead and tin. Lead and tin, it is used for welding electrical wires together, and so this help in the welding the electrical wires. So this is about alloys. So you might have know about this iron pillar at Delhi, right? So the wonder of ancient Indian metallurgy, the Indian pillar near the Qutub Minar in Delhi was built more than 1600 years ago by the iron workers of India. They had developed a process which prevented iron from rusting. So this iron pillar, it is not rusted from 1600 years ago. So it was built and it is exposing it to air and moisture. Even it is exposing, it is not rusting. So they had developed such kind of process that prevents the iron from rusting. For its quality of rust resistance, it has been examined by the scientists from all the parts of the world. An iron pillar is 8 meters height and weighs about 6 tons, that is 6000 kgs. So this is the speciality of the iron pillar at Delhi. So this completes the chapter metals and non-metals. I hope all of you have understood. Thank you.